First of all, thank you very much for doing this here. I think it's really good when companies like yours or ours, they would collaborate, shake hands, and put in an effort to ensure that okay, everybody is growing. So the whole ecosystem is such. So we should be. About myself, Tanisha, I've been working from past 22 years, all in all, building SaaS platform since last 1 decade. Worked with a brand like Dell, Cvent. My last stint was Vice President South Asia and India for one of the AI-based company in Australia. There's an interesting story how I started MiVirtue. So post COVID, I moved from one tier one city to tier two city. I was in typically a Gurgaon and Bangalore. I moved to Chandigarh. So thought that okay, we'll have good life for the kids. So when I moved here, I started staying in one fancy society, and one thing I noticed out here is kids out here are brats, and I was kind of worried about my daughter being engaged with brats and having influence which I never wanted. So I thought, okay, they're all the Byju's of the world. They must be having something which could actually work on the value quotient, moral value. None. So everybody was skill-based learning, backers, coding, maths. So there's a race out there. I never wanted that for my daughter, and I checked anything and everything possibly I couldn't find any. I checked school schedule, none. So they're just trying their bit, but nothing there. Thought, okay, maybe, because I know how to do it, and there is a scope, and there comes MiVirtue. So I thought there is a big scope. It is more about giving it back to society, one, and I won't shy away in saying the fact that okay, there was an opportunity when it comes to business angle as well. So that's how MiVirtue started. It was like one worried parent couldn't find any, and he thought that I'll do it. That is all about MiVirtue. Now MiVirtue is India's first online edtech platform which offers value-based education. So we have 8 courses, which is basic set of being human, like honesty, compassion, empathy, equality, respect, forgiving. So when I started this journey, because I come from a background where I know how the roadmap looks like. So when I was defining roadmaps, so the critical juncture of any and every roadmap was like how technology could support me, to make sure that, okay, this should sail through. So obviously 2 major angle. One was, handling the potential lead and the customer. And second was the existing customer. So LMS and CRM was always, 2 things which I was keen to check, thoroughly go through it, which could suit me. Lucky me, I think we started this journey with ExtraaEdge. So far, it is working great for us. So that's about me and MiVirtue. See, it took us year and 4 months to build this platform, before we say we are live. So we never went random. So that was kind of a good thing for us. We structured it in a way that, okay, every stage, things that we require, how actually they will help us grow or become better. So we had a clear path, very crystal clear path. Okay. So that, okay, when it comes to potential, we will not go random. We will not use Excel sheets. We would not use, WhatsApp and then just make it random, which will not give any good experience to customer, as well as the cluttered data will not be any help to us. So we were very sure that, okay, at one stage we have to have CRM before we say we are going live. But when it comes to CRM, I think my take was I never wanted a CRM wherein, you just giving me one thing, and for rest of the 3 things, you need to go out. So I don't want to name it, but I have worked with another good CRM in my last organization, But the challenge that I faced is, so 3 things are there in the CRM. For rest 2, you need to go out. And then for somebody like me, I think I hate the fact when, accountability being shifted to each other, and then starts the blame game. And then customer is the one who would suffer, nobody else. So when it comes to ExtraaEdge, I think while doing my research, and it took me almost like 10 sessions with you guys, and you were being very patient with me to understand like how you do it, the advantages being associated with ExtraaEdge. So one thing which stood out was, one-stop shop. So that worked in my favor. I wanted that is okay. We all need to work like hand in glove, when it comes to CRM or LMS, and there is no denial in that. And I was pretty okay with the fact. But at least, you being that partner who would say that, okay, there is a problem, let's work around it. But I'm a part of this solution. Rather, I'm saying like, oh, I heard it. Now you go to X department to fix it up. So that stood out really well for me. And I think so far, it is going great for me. So you guys are always there to support me. So our sales team is 7 now, right? When it comes to B2C selling, then there's a different B2B department. That department is bigger than B2C. But when it comes to CRM, I think so far, I think the B2C section is using or utilizing ExtraaEdge for now. And I think my challenge was because I wanted to have a blend of, experienced counselors versus as well as the, newbies. So when it comes to somebody you picking up from a college, I think first the term CRM and then the usage of CRM is this kind of, steep ask for them. But with ExtraaEdge, the good part was it was just a day's training, and then you would see any fresher could actually work on CRM. So I think to cut down on that training time helps me big time, when it comes to focusing on the core competency rather just explaining the CRM. To answer your question, I think it is 7. I think we are going towards 12 by next quarter. That's how we plan. I used it in my last organization, so I had some good bad experience with another one. So I was very sure that okay, this would be the one. On the adoption side, it was easy for them to adopt it. I think the CRM being designed in such a way. I think first the UI UX is good. Second is I think the support. So your team was pretty much there to train them without asking a single question. Okay, if they need another session, if they need another solution to the problem. So that was always there. So I think there's a journey that happened with me. First is the somebody who's worked from the sales side or the pre-sales side. I think Atish. So he was great. The good part with him is he would never start a sentence by saying no. He would always say yes, but, which is kind of good. So it worked in my favor. So that it was more like two parties working on the single goal. Then Parag was there. I think Parag supported us like crazy. I think at times, as a founder, there are stages when you would just lose your patience and then you would just, change the tone even. And Parag will accept it like with the same, humbleness. And then she would say that, okay, yeah, I get it. I know you're frustrated, but, let's work towards it. So Parag being a very, very, I think, big support to us. I think we never saw that it is a Saturday or Sunday, or maybe it's 10 at night. So she was pretty much there for us. And then now we have another POC coming into picture. I hardly had any interaction, honestly, I think, but my team feels that okay, the guy is proactive. So that is the one requirement from any founder. I think if you are reactive, then I don't like you. If you're proactive, I kind of love you guys, and that's how it is. That's how I work. I think the only thing that I want to add is keep doing the good work. So see, every founder has a journey, but when you understand that, okay, at this point in time, founder needs certain things, which is more than money. And if you understand that, usually you would have a good retention rate, a good lifetime customer value. And obviously, ultimately this business is more about reference. So when somebody comes from an experience of 20-23 years, so like I've been working from past 2 decades. So I have some credibility when I'll be talking to people saying that, okay, hey, I'm using ExtraaEdge, it works well. So it adds a lot of value to it. So understanding this concept, it works really well. So kudos to your founders. And I think I had one issue. I raised it like, hey, this is one thing which I didn't like. And he was pretty proactive in reaching out to me and saying that, okay, even it is making sense to me and we're working on it. And in the ever evolving nature of your platform is great. You just can't stop and think that, okay, now let's sell it. It won't work. So that is my feed. I think everybody's understood the fact that okay, it is not like a 1 year or 2 year journey, a long way to go. So that is working in our favor. One thing is it's one-stop shop. When it comes to WhatsApp bot, when it comes to having the IVR system, you having the Exotel coming into picture. So everything is one place. It is not. It is there, but ultimately I'll get POC. So for me, it's just one POC who would understand all the 5 issues, and then we'll go back to different department, come back with the solution. So that is absolutely amazing because that makes my job easy. It is just one person you talk to. Second, I like the fact. So far, I like the fact, you're pretty open to, customize the platform as per the customer. Ultimately, which would not remain a solution for you guys. But so far, it is working in our favor, because ultimately, for any new org, we just can't say from day one that okay, we are good to go. We have discussed all 10 points and let's do it. So there's no limit to it. We would improvise. We would just see the data coming into the system. For any and every input, there's an output. There's a different output. So you guys are pretty open to discuss, and once it is making sense, you guys are working on it. So that stands out brilliantly for me. So one, I would say that okay, if you're looking for a third party to support you, or you're looking somebody who is part of your team and would want to work with you and want to ensure that you should grow with him. So that's the first thing. I think I see with ExtraaEdge, you want MiVirtue to do well, which is amazing. It is not the deal being done, it's cracked, there's a certain amount associated with it. Now every year you will grow, but that's not. You want us to grow. So that is one part. Second, as I said, I think so from a CRM perspective, there are 5-6 different departments that need to work on. So all are there in one place. Third, everybody wants to contribute in ExtraaEdge. So maybe if Parag was not picking up the phone, I would just reach out to Atish, though he's a pre-sales guy, but he would say, no, wait, hold on, I'll get the next person. Even for that matter, I think Daksh is the name, I suppose. So somebody who was managing your pre-sales, something like that. So he jumped on a call like right away when I said that okay, there is a problem. So nobody will think that okay, this is not my department, like my thing is done, now you just moved on to another department, now they will take care of it. So everybody feels that okay, we can do something. So these are the 3 points which which makes founder feel very, very comfortable. And then it is more like okay, my CRM part is sorted now, so I have another things to do now. So that's all.